Hello and welcome to the Quintessential Show. My goodness, we are in Pretoria.
Yes.
We love Pretoria,
Yes.
and we love to find things that happen in Pretoria because we're based in Pretoria.
Of course.
And Taylor and I can tell you that whenever we talk about gaming or eSports, all of it happens in Johannesburg.
Yes.
But those days are over.
Icon.
Literally.
Rush.
Whoa. So we were at Rush last year, but this year Rush has moved all the way to Pretoria. To tell us more about that, we have got the lady behind all of the media. It is Shani Zede.
Hi, hello.
How are you doing,
Hello.
Shani?
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I'm good, thanks yourself.
Yeah, it's so good to see you, man. Last year you were one of the front faces of Rush. The first, that was the inaugural.
It was the inaugural Rush. I got to take over the NAG YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And got to run around being my crazy self with a bunch of other South African creators.
Yeah.
And it was fun to be part of the first one, but
Yeah.
like you said, it was in Joburg.
Exactly.
And it was a drive. A long drive.
A drive.
And now it's in Pretoria, and I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah, literally. But why is that so important? Why is it so important that things are now migrating to Pretoria?
So I wouldn't say that it's so important that it's migrated to Pretoria.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, like you mentioned, there are so many things that happen in Joburg. Just to name a couple, like you mentioned, Rage obviously happens at the Coke Dome every year.
Yeah.
Not so much the Coke Dome anymore, Ticket Pro Dome. We have Icon, we have Geek Fest. We've got every single kind of gaming and tech and geek related thing that obviously happens. You've got Gallagher Estate, you've got all of these other different places. But us Praetorians always have to drive that side. And when the second it got announced that, it's in Pretoria, all the Joburgers were like, but we don't want to drive. Hello,
We drive
welcome to our
every
lives.
single time.
So for me, just a personal, it's not an improvement. Improvement's the wrong word. It's a good step because now I can invite all my friends that I would have invited to Rush regardless. But now they kind of have to come because it's in their backyard.
Honestly, every year, let's go to Rage, let's go to Rush. Well, I mean, last year, let's go to Rush. Yeah, awesome, cool. I don't have a lift. I don't have a lift either.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Joburg, far.
But my car, I always end up being like my car is like the taxi. I
you
always
only
have
take
about
so many
4
people.
5 people, maybe 6 if one of them is really tiny like me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm always carting people.
Yeah. So this year it's happening at the Times Square Arena, which it's a new venue. It's beautiful. We've been to a couple of these events that have happened here at Times Square, and we couldn't be happier that it's happening right here in the heart of Pretoria East.
And we're here right now.
Yes, we are. By the way, we're in the foyer, so you're going to be joining us here at Times Square Arena. But the big thing is that Rush, in terms of gaming events, it's kind of a different gaming event. What makes Rush a little bit different?
So Rush is brought to you by the same people that bring you Rage every year. For those of you who don't know what Rage is kind of, I want to say, Africa's biggest gaming and tech convention.
Yeah.
It's been running, this will be its 16th year.
Yeah.
And the same masterminds behind that kind of wanted to give eSports its own platform.
Yeah.
Because we all know about it, well, not all of us, because it is still relatively new and the older generations are getting used to it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of brought to the attention that, okay, we're going to put esports at the forefront. It's not going to be about the games themselves and the developers and what's coming, what's the releases and all of that. It's rather going to be about, let's house something and host this event and give all of our different independent tournament organizations a chance to exhibit their own esports. This year they've jumped on board and they first announced that, okay, Vodacom for You is brought on, and they've announced the massive 3 ones, which is obviously the CSGO, which is proudly sponsored by Metal State. Shout out to my Metal State family. I'm a caster for them.
Shameless plug.
Ignore it. No, I'm kidding.
So they'll be having the CSGO. There's also Fortnite on mobile, so everyone knows about Fortnite.
All right, hold up. When we're talking esports, Fortnite needs to be mentioned. Last year, we knew nothing about what Fortnite was.
Literally.
This year, please, we're not the biggest of gamers, Shani. Explain to us what's happening here. What's up with Fortnite?
So what Fortnite is, it's the game that everyone and their mother is playing. You've probably seen it somewhere. Even if you are not a gamer, you've seen it on your Instagram, you've seen it on your Facebook. If you're on Twitter, it's all over the place. You know who Ninja is. He's probably the most
whole
successful.
setup here.
So for the non-gamers, Fortnite is a battle royale. So you're all dropped in, you arrive on a battle bus, which is kind of this massive bus that flies. You all jump out of it and you all decide which places on the map you're going to land. and it's basically last person standing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So, Hunger Games.
Hunger
With
Games,
sin.
but you can build things.
Hunger Games meets Minecraft.
Less pixels though.
Right, got it.
Yes. So that's Fortnite. But what I like about it is it's going to be on mobile. I know there was a lot of kind of controversy about when they announced that it's going to be on Fortnite, because Fortnite isn't exactly esports ready. There is no esports mode.
Yes.
So I know a bunch of different organizations around the world, both locally and internationally, run their Fortnites different. Their Fortnite tournaments different. So I'm really keen to see how it works on mobile.
Yeah.
Because it brings in a different form of gamer, whereas esports, everyone always thinks you're either got a PlayStation Pro or the top of the line PC.
For sure,
or
yeah.
If you're playing on Xbox, cool, you're playing some FIFA on Xbox potentially. FIFA is another one that's going to be there.
Yeah.
So, hey.
Yes.
So those are the three major ones that have been announced. But over and above that, since the time has progressed, since the initial press release, there's also been Hearthstone, Quake. I hope I get all of them in here. Street Fighter 5.
There's a Dragon Ball Z, something with Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball
Yes,
Fighter
yes, I
Z.
saw
All right, all right.
Tekken.
Quinn's gonna dress up for that.
That's
I know
Krillin.
I'm omitting something. Vainglory and a whole bunch of other things. So there's something for everyone. That's what you need to take away from this, is there's genuinely something for everyone. And even if you've never been introduced to esports before, this is the perfect platform.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you don't have to be the most professional player of all time. You can come in as a beginner.
No, exactly. You can come in not knowing anything and kind of just having a, hey, I'm really interested in video games, and potentially you don't play that much online, but you're looking to get into it. This is the perfect opportunity to meet players that have done it. Not necessarily that they've done it their entire lives. Some players have only started playing recently. I know with CSGO, for example, there are, I want to say, 3 or 4 female teams,
Yeah.
Yes,
which we would have
yes.
never seen previously,
Yes.
which now Metal State hosted their Valkyrie League,
Yeah.
which obviously was all about females in CSGO.
Amazing.
You can go speak to them and be like, hey, what's it like being a female in the industry? Or, hey, I really want to get into something, and you can go speak to one of the FIFA players.
Yeah.
And like, I'm really good at beating my friends at FIFA at home to like kind of submit them into posting those
Yeah,
really awkward
yeah.
Facebook apologies to their moms. Be like, I'm sorry that I wasted Ben's time. He whitewashed me 6-0.
Yeah.
If you're kind of the person that's whitewashing people, you might want to get into esports. There's good money in it.
Yeah, and there's prizes this year as well. We've seen like a long list of prizes that if you are the winner of this iteration of Rush, you get like Huawei P20s, you get money.
There's a lot of prizes involved, definitely. I'm not going to try and remember all of them just because I know I'm going to get them wrong.
Look, Taylor tried playing CSGO
I did.
last year.
I did. I had lots of fun, although I didn't know what I was doing. But what I enjoyed from Rush last year was I really, really enjoyed the fact that as a non-gamer or casual gamer, you could go and just enjoy Rush. You could go and watch some
Yeah.
esports together with other people who are also interested in what's going on, which for me I think was awesome.
Yeah.
I really
Absolutely.
enjoyed
That's
that.
why I said personally, I put out a Facebook post firstly on my YouTube and on my Facebook saying, guys, I'm going to be at Rush again. I'm doing cool things, but 90% of my audience are gamers. I then shared it onto my private Facebook profile and said, friends of Facebook, I know some of you are gamers that have never stepped foot at a Rage or a Rush.
Yeah.
Please take the opportunity, because even if you don't understand, if you're a parent and your children are involved with esports and you don't really, or your children want to get involved with esports, this is the perfect opportunity to come through. I mean, day pass is like $60.
That's it,
A weekend
that's it.
pass is $100.
Yeah.
So you can come through and you can kind of find out what esports is all about. Talk to the people behind the scenes. Speak to other parents involved. Like, the most inspirational thing for me is always standing behind the players, seeing the parents getting really worked up and being like, yeah, go my boy or go my girl, yes, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that's heart touching for me, because
definitely.
I can imagine it's exactly the same as any other sport where you're standing on the sidelines cheering a child on. It's the same with esports. So it's about getting more people exposed to the growth of the community.
Yeah.
That's what I think that a lot of South Africans also need to understand is esports is a sport in itself.
Oh,
Of course,
absolutely.
just like we're watching Russia and who
Or
owns it?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, just how we're watching them earlier on before we did this. Esports is also happening all the time.
Yeah,
You can go check
exactly.
it out, you can go watch it.
Yeah.
International scale, and also it's
Streaming
happening
all the time on the
in
internet.
South Africa. I know
Yeah.
Supersport as well. They've partnered up. They want to get some more esports on TV.
Yeah,
which I think is
true.
great,
Yeah,
especially
it
for
is.
this country.
Yeah. I mean, something that started at the basement of Rage is now like at the top of Rage, and it's got the most money. So, but I mean, you getting into that industry as well. Have you not become a commentator for esports? Please tell us what you are doing.
So, unfortunately, I can't exactly give you too many details yet because nothing has been announced yet. But I have been announced along with Jason Beyond Low. We are going to be casting some Call of Duty. When we eventually get around to announcing some stuff. I know the community's been waiting around for a while and their patience is going to be understood. Like, you'll get it, we'll get there when we get there. So I'm excited to be stepping into the scene as a caster. So casting is if you're watching a soccer game or a rugby game and the people are talking about what's happening on the field,
commentating.
It's exactly the same for esports. It's just called casting because it's a cooler name.
It is, yeah.
So that's how I've gotten involved with the esports side. I've also always been a massive supporter, specifically Call of Duty, which unfortunately isn't at Rush. But I can appreciate all forms of esports because, like you said, it is a sport in and of its own. I once heard a quote from someone, I don't know where it was on the internet somewhere, saying that I don't consider it a sport if the athlete doesn't sweat. Put her on a main stage knowing that there's so much money up for grabs or that there's a spot in an international qualifier up for grabs and knowing that this is the last play of the game, it's tied at like 11-11 and you need to get to 12 or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm pretty sure the players are sweating. I'm pretty sure the nerves are there.
They do. Last year at Rush, I saw some sweaty players. The nerves.
Over and above that, it's the players and the athletes, because we're calling them cyber athletes now. For Rush, that is one of the hashtags, the hashtag cyber athletes.
Awesome.
There is a whole thing of these players don't just rock up and play. It's grinding. They're scrimming with their teams or they're practicing the game about 9 or 10 hours a day. I know some of the younger players who are still at school, they go to school, they do their schoolwork, they get home, they finish homework, and then they jump online for another 4 hours and then they practice. So don't come thinking that this isn't a sport and that they aren't athletes. They definitely earn their own. I mean, you can earn your South African colours and your national colours for sports now.
That's incredible.
For esports.
I saw this.
That's
amazing.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think what esports represents in South Africa at the moment is like taking technology and utilizing technology to the point where this is the most important utilization of the technology that we have at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just going to get better.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Fortnite VR in a couple of years' time. People are actually going to be
Anxiety. That thing at Fortnite. What is it called when the walls come caving in?
The storm.
And like the storm.
The storm.
The circle if you're playing PUBG, but Fortnite is the storm.
Okay, so when the storm comes in, I can't.
Hey, let's not talk about PUBG versus Fortnite. Not on this channel, please.
Running simulator.
Please don't get into it. But something with Fortnite, Shani, as a Eurogamer, you must know is that they want you to dance and invent a dance for Fortnite. So here on the Quintessential Show, you're gonna have to give us your best crack at
and teach us how to do it too.
No.
Yes, I want to see Quintus
shouldn't do
dance.
that. I think Shani can end it with the splits potentially.
What?
Okay,
but
so
you used to be
so I'm gonna take this back for 2 seconds and say that Quintus specifically made that comment because he and I went to school together. So there is some history here.
There we go.
And yes, I did ballet once upon a time, but I will not be doing the splits because number one, I am old now, and number two, I'm wearing jeans.
Unbelievable.
No, but I can
shuffle a little bit for you.
Let's check it
just
out.
the basic.
Best Fortnite dance.
I don't know if it's Fortnite because I've only ever played once, twice,
all right.
and I got carried to victory both times. Shout out to Brad Cherry and the rest of the guys who carried me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna shuffle a little bit for you guys, and I'm gonna be like,
Oh yeah.
Okay, I can't do that.
Now that's what I call expert dancing. Only here on the Quintessential Show would you find it. Listen, it is on June 29th to the 1st of July, Rush.
Super excited.
Yes.
And it's on the
Come
Friday, the Saturday as well, yes?
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday,
And the
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about coming and you don't know which day, if you don't want to invest the time in the entire weekend, come on the Sunday because that's always the big final.
Yeah.
It's always the massive
Yeah.
thing, so.
Prize givings. We're going to try and bring one of our guys down here to actually be in the Fortnite 1v1. So look out for Quintessential. We'll be out there. But Shani, we love you on our show. We've always loved having you around.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So
man.
great.
Listen, keep doing it. You are flying the flag for girl gamers out there. Thank you. Go follow her on YouTube. It is Shani ZA. Yo, that's it for the Quintessential Show today.
Yeah.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Bye.